Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are tackling a super practical project, a custom fit padded laptop bag.
How to measure your laptop to get the sizes of the main pieces. So I'm placing my measuring tape around my laptop and I have about 29.5 inches in width, and in the other direction in this direction we got 19.5 inches. So we'll take those numbers by 19.5 inches in height. We're going to divide these numbers by 2, and that will be equal to 14 3/4 by 9 3/4. Then you're going to add 2 inches for give. You can add up to 2 to 2.5 inches. You don't want your laptop bag to be too big and your laptop moving around too much on the inside. So I added 2 inches so that I have room inside of my laptop bag. So we add this 2 inches to this number, and our final measurement is equal to 16 3/4 by 11 3/4. Now this is for my laptop. You're going to get the measurement of your laptop and just follow the instructions to get the measurement for your main piece. The fabric pieces that you'll need: 2 exterior for your main fabric, 2 lining, and 2 fleece cut in this measurement, cut into the final measurement. And for the pocket, you will need 1 exterior, 1 lining, 1 fleece. You'll also need some binding. And the pocket will be 3 inches shorter than the main body piece.
All right, now we have all of our pieces cut. You should have two sets of exterior, interior, and fusible fleece in your main size, and one set in the smaller pocket size, plus your bias tape strip. We're going to create 3 fabric sandwiches, 2 main and 1 pocket. Each sandwich will consist of the exterior fabric on one side, fusible fleece in the middle, and the interior fabric pieces aside and focus on the pocket. We need to bind the top edge of our quilted pocket exterior piece to hide the raw edge. Take your 2.5 inch strip of fabric and iron it in half lengthwise. Then open it up and fold each of the long raw edges in towards the center crease and press. This creates the bias tape. Open up one side of your folded bias tape and place it along the top edge of your quilted pocket piece, with the exterior side of the pocket facing up and the right side of the binding strip facing down. The raw edges should line up. Stitch along the crease closest to the raw edges to attach the binding. Fold the bias tape up and over the raw edge of the pocket and pin it in place on the back, making sure the back of the bias tape covers the seam line you just created. To secure the binding, stitch in the ditch of the front seam line, that little groove where the binding meets the pocket fabric. Place one of the main panels right sides up and the pocket panel on top, matching the bottom and side edges, and pinner clip. Take this to the sewing machine and stitch 2 lines down the center Add 1 inch apart to create a channel to fit a pen. Then sew along the sides and bottom using a 1/4 inch seam allowance to secure.
Strap tabs. Straps are optional. I'm using a 1 inch D-ring and a 2 inch by 2 inch square of fabric backed with some interfacing. I'm folding in half to make a crease, then fold the raw sides in towards that crease, and then you can use your iron and press if you like, but I'm just going to finger press, and then I'm going to place this in half and through the D-ring, and I'm going to sew this in place, and this can be used to attach a crossbody strap. I will link to a video showing you how to make a crossbody strap if you need to do so. I already have a crossbody strap that I can use with this bag, so won't be making a strap for this. So just place this on about 2 inches in from each end of your bag, and you can use a long stitch length just to hold it in place until you're ready to sew your zipper. So I'm placing it on the front and the back panels. As you can see, they're on the same side, but when the two panels are placed opposite each other, they will be on opposite ends of the bag.
Alright, let's get that zipper in. Grab your zipper and one of your quilted main pieces, preferably the one with the pockets. Place this piece face up on your work table. Find the center of your zipper and mark it with a pin or fabric marker. Also, you can find and mark the center of the top edge of your main fabric piece. Place the center of your zipper face down onto the center mark of your main fabric piece, making sure the top raw edges of your zipper lines up with the top raw edges of the fabric. Pin it in place. Continue pinning the zipper along the entire top edge and around the corners. As you approach the corners, you will want to make small clips into the zipper tip. Be careful not to cut too close to the zipper teeth. This will help the zipper curve smoothly.
If you're receiving value from this tutorial, please hit the like button. Thank you.
Now attach your zipper foot to your sewing machine. Carefully stitch the zipper to the fabric following your pin line. Take your time, especially when going around those corners. You might need to lift your presser foot and maneuver the fabric a little bit. Once the first side is sewn, flip the zipper back and use a pair of small scissors to carefully clip away any excess fabric from the back of the zipper in the corners. Open your zipper and press the fabric away from the zipper teeth with a hot iron. Be sure to press those raw edges under so the zipper lays nice and flat. Now, you can top stitch around the zipper opening about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. This will give it a professional finish and help secure the back seam. Lay the zipper panel face down onto the top edge of your other quilted main piece, which should be face up on your table. Just like before, align the raw edges and pin the zipper in place. This side might be a little bit trickier since the other main piece is already attached. But take your time and you can do it. Sew the side of the zipper in place using your zipper foot. Again, paying close attention to the corners. With the zipper installed, let's close up the bottom and sides of your bag. Make sure your zipper is open at least halfway. You'll need this opening to turn it right side out later. Pin the bottom edges and the open side edges together. Starting about 1 inch in from the end of the zipper tape, sew a seam using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, all the way down one side, across the bottom and up the other side, stopping about 1 inch past the other end of the zipper tape. Your stitching will overlap the ends of the zipper.
For sewing over thick layers with ease, I recommend that you use a walking foot and a heavy duty sewing machine needle. I'm using a number 18.
Go back and stitch across the seam allowance horizontally at both ends of the zipper. This will secure the zipper ends and prevent them from pulling apart. Make sure to backstitch at the beginning and end of each of these little seams. You can add some binding to finish the sides and bottom. This step is optional.
If you serged the raw edges and you're satisfied with the way it looks, you can skip this step. But I'm going to add some binding to the sides and bottom of my bag. So take your measuring tape and measure around up to where the zipper, 1 inch up the zipper, and take that measurement to cut your binding fabric's length. And the width will be 2 to 2.5 inches. Fold in at the end like I'm doing here, because as we are doing this we don't want any raw edges. You can press this down if you like, and you can also press it in four the way we've done previously to make your binding, but I don't want to do that. One, going around the curves, you can put some slits in your binding fabric so that it will spread and curve nicely. Continue pinning around the bottom and up the other side And then we'll take this to our sewing machine and use a 1/4 inch seam allowance to stitch the binding in place. Same as we did before, we're going to now pull the binding fabric over to the underside and fold over the seam. Pin, and we're going to go back to the sewing machine and finish stitching our binding in place. Just follow on the video and do as you see I am doing here.
Carefully turn your laptop bag right side out through the zipper opening. Gently push out the corners. You have a fantastic padded laptop sleeve. You can absolutely stop here if you like. But if you want to add handles to for easier carrying, let's quickly go over the basics. You'll cut 2 strips of your main fabric 4 inches wide by 18 inches long and some batting or fusible fleece for padding. You'll fold and stitch these strips to create padded tubes, and then you can attach them securely to the top edges of your laptop. Just follow along the video and you will see how to make these handles.
I've placed the fleece in the center of the wrong side of my fabric. Then I fold it in half, folding in the long raw edges at 1/4 inch. This way I won't have to turn the tube right side out. So I'm sewing down using a 1/4 inch seam allowance on one side. You can also sew all around the sides if you prefer. I'm just going to sew on the one side that is open. So this is what we've got. I've stitched the opening side closed. Now I'm going to fold it again in half and pin, and I'm going to leave 2 inches on both ends of the handle. I'm going to take this back to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew along using the seam line that I stitched previously. So the 2 ends will be open, it won't be stitched. We're stitching 2 inches in from the ends, and this will complete our padded handles. You repeat the steps and you can create the second handle, and this is what we will be using for our laptop bag.
Find the center of your bag and mark 2 inches on each side of the center and 1 inch down from the top edge. This is where you will place the padded handles. Sew across the edge of the handle at 1/4 inch, then flip up and sew around the corner to create a 1 inch box. Repeat for the other handle. And there you have it, your very own custom fit padded laptop bag with a secure zipper and optional handles. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you make your own laptop bag, be sure to share it with me on social media at Solijo. I'd love to see your creations. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more fun sewing projects, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Happy sewing, everyone!